Welcome
For
in episode 3 of the Other Room Pod. I'm Tim. That's Austin. Catch me up on your week, buddy. How you doing?
Hey man, good week, long week. Kind of finally starting getting busy at the funeral home, which is kind of nice to have something to do, I guess. Even though it's
Oh, nice for you.
it's nice for me, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a big dry spell, so very few people were passing away here in the last few months. But had a good stint here recently, so it's nice to get back out and talking to people and helping people with funerals and stuff. It's good to
Do you have
do the
like
job you're
troughs
hired
and
for.
valleys during the year? I mean, is
Yeah,
winter just like winter is coming all the time in terms of the
yeah.
funeral?
So typically, what I've seen is, especially because the winter's so harsh up here, as you remember,
Right,
uh,
yeah.
a lot of people will tend to pass away like right after Christmas. I think a lot of people kind of tend to, towards the end of their life, I think they have a little bit of kind of a say of when they can go. Like I think they're like, I want to make it through one more Christmas or one more New Year, and after that, I'm going to go. And we typically tend to see a big spike after Christmas, after New Year, because people are like, all right, I did it. I made it through my last Christmas. I'm good to go. And after that, they'll kind of will themselves to
Wow.
pass on. People are like,
Somber as can be. My
yeah,
gosh.
yeah, and I don't mean like in a way that people are, taking their own lives. Just kind of people that are really, really old.
I'd
And
want
maybe
presents
in
one
nursing
more
home.
time too, no lie.
Anyway, no. So yeah, it's we kind of picking a little bit back up. Family's out of town. Uh, have you ever been? Has your wife ever taken Roman out of town for an extended period of time when you've been home alone, or have you not
It's like
experienced it yet?
it's like 3 maybe like 3 days. She went to Arizona with him one time,
Sure. Hmm.
just to meet her family for the first time, and that was it.
Yes, you might know. Like being alone sounds really cool, like without the wife and kids, and it's really fun for like 20 minutes. like,
Fun
like
until the end of your workday, and then you're like,
yeah, like, and then you go
"Wow,
home and it's
I
just
have
empty.
nothing to
Yeah,
do."
there's nothing to do. Exactly. Like, yeah, I'm into the point where I'm just kind of a little, what would the word be? Maybe a little melancholy. Just like, I kind of miss the kids, kind of miss my wife, especially because
Yeah, man.
the littlest one, he's kind of giving her fits right now. He's just crying, crying. He's only 2 months old, and
Right.
he did really well on the airplane. But yeah, we're kind of in that little lull there. What about you, man? What's up with you?
So I had a double booked week for physical therapy, and on the day I was going, I usually take a walk at lunchtime, and you know we'll just air this out right now. I mean, my irrational fear of bugs. I
Is it all bugs?
was
I thought it was just specifically moths.
So moths are the scariest thing on earth, and then after that, there's tiers of scary, and spiders. Spiders and moths are both 1A, 1B.
Okay.
Do you know how many people die from moths every year, right?
If we are rounding it to a
Less than
decimal and
one, and yes, it could be me.
expressing as a whole number, it's zero. Yeah.
No, less than one is what we're gonna go with, and that could be me. And it's spiders. I'm really against. I just have like a huge fear of bugs. I don't know what it is. I always have. So I'm on my walk, and I'm not supposed to do lateral movements. I'm supposed to recovering. And if you would have told me this was the locusts from the Bible that Moses was dealing with, I would have believed you. This thing came at me full spread
Yeah.
screeching like grasshopper, and I recoiled with such ferocity. I felt a pop in my knee, and I
Nice.
went to the ground and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna take advantage of me because I I fall." And I'm so afraid, and I was like, "Oh, this is where this is where I'm at my most vulnerable." And because my knee, I was like, "Ah!" And
And did that when it popped? Did it hurt?
oh yeah, like shot of
Okay.
pain. I was like, if it was a zombie apocalypse, it would have been like, "Leave me behind. There's no use."
The
Like,
way you're talking about it, it's still that way with the grasshopper.
no, same thing. Yeah, might as well be. And yeah, so after I escaped certain death, I just walked it off and it was fine. And then later that day in PT, I'm kind of ramping up. I'm running on the treadmill, he's like, "You're actually not taking steps fast enough." Because I was running at first at like 5 miles an hour, and it was hurting a ton. And he's like,
Okay.
"You actually need to go faster." I was like, "The math's not mathing, brother. I don't, I don't understand." "Oh, it hurts. Do more." funny enough, it completely worked. As you went up to 7 miles an hour, it totally worked. I was like, "That degree of yours, that's
That's something.
valuable. You know
Yeah.
something." And it totally worked. And then he's got me doing this drill later on where I'm, like, running back. They've got these lights that light up in, like, a row, and it's, like, 4 of them spread, like, maybe, like, a yard total across, and you have to
Is this
run to the light.
like the pacer test?
E Similar. There's, like,
Yeah,
shuttle drill, like NFL combine, like, you're
sure.
running up to the light and then like, back step all the way back,
Okay.
and I had done 1 round of it pretty well, but he's like, "Alright, like, round 2," and I'm doing 1 and I'm running, and then the same thing, like, popping my knee, and I was like, "Ah!" Like, it yelled, and you would have thought my PT that I was gonna sue him for his child. Like, the look on his face was like, he was after I was like, "Ah!" He was like, "My career, it's over," and it was totally fine, like, I ended up being fine. I think I'm more nervous than anything, like, it gives me, like, a shot of pain, but, like, I always end up being alright, but, yeah, dude, it was, quite an eventful week for grasshoppers around my area. I do think they're banding together against me, which is what I think of most bugs.
Conspiring against you, yeah. As everybody does. They are conspiring against you. I think you should be afraid.
No, yeah, if there was one conspiracy that nobody else had but me, it would be that all bugs are trying to injure me in some way.
No, and I talked to the bugs. I gave them your address. They are coming for you.
When I was in college, I remember somebody, like, inviting me to a butterfly emporium type thing, and I was like, "You must be out of your freaking mind. Do you know who you're speaking to right now? That's just the pretty cousin of the moth. It's ridiculous." And I was like, you might as well be like, "Hey, we're all gonna journey to hell together. Would you like to come?" No, obviously not, right? That is my version of it where you're trapped in a space where you can't escape, and you don't know that they fly erratically. You don't know what they're thinking, what their patterns are. It's
It's
too scary.
it's super cool. I've been to a butterfly emporium. It's very, very neat. I like it. I think it's cool. Like you gotta afterwards, you gotta like make sure you shake your clothes up. Be very gentle with the butterflies. Again, they did tell me they're out for you though, so I wouldn't go if I were you. But it is pretty neat.
It would be the one time I asked God for the blessing of control of fire, and I would just burn everything to the ground around me because I'd be so horrified
Of butterflies,
of
like like
everything, man. I hate it
like
all.
moths.
I hate insects.
Like moths under like a microscope close up, those are scary. But like butterflies, that's crazy,
It's
dude.
all it's
That's
all too
crazy.
much. I couldn't
Uh,
flip a page in biology class with a spider on it.
you're just
I would
being
flip 2 pages.
I genuinely think you're just being dramatic right now. Like it's fine to be
I must have
afraid.
been assaulted at, like, 1 month by many, many bugs at the same time. There must have been a
I
like
think
a coalition that was formed to attack me,
a
and I made it
colony of
out, but,
ants.
it
Yeah,
must
colony of
have
ants
been.
probably picked you up and were like walking you towards
They are
their anthill,
the
like
most organized, that makes
like in
sense.
yeah, like in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. You remember that scene with all the ants? That was you, but as a baby.
Well, that's a different situation. That guy it's like a fire ant colony, but no, this one to me, I truly I don't know, it's a true phobia. I'm probably gonna be in my 60s and be like, "Alright, I'll talk to the psychiatrist." He's gonna be like, "Brother, we just needed to shock you one time. You would have been fine." I'd be like, "Ah, dang it.
Uh,
There's all
it
these
was
60 years."
it was that easy the whole time. Dang it.
Yeah,
Uh,
crazy.
how's your bracket doing for March Madness?
Well, I started cooking. I I went 27 of 32 in the first round. I
For
was
real? You
yeah,
swear?
yeah,
27 to
27 of 32.
32?
Yeah,
That's
man.
an incredible bracket.
I did good, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and, you get eliminated really quick and whatnot, but I was like, "Oh, yeah, like, overall, I'm doing pretty good." Bro, this second round, carnage. I mean, just carnage. And what's funny is the guy who was first place in our bracket after the first little bit in, like, my work bracket, which is the only one I'm doing this year, he he picked Cal Baptist University to win the whole thing, and I was like, "What is this sleeper Cinderella pick?" And then one of our coworkers was like revealed to me, he's like, "Oh, he went to Cal Baptist U." And I
Oh,
was like,
okay.
"No way." And they lost in the first round, and then his whole bracket is just I mean, it's all busted because he picked him to win the championship, and I was like, "The confidence on that guy to pick Cal Baptist U."
What seed were they?
I don't even know. I they
Yeah.
they were low enough for me to be like, "I'm not sure." But, yeah, man, there's been some crazy upsets, some really good games. There was a good game today that I saw. It was, Texas-Purdue, which Texas is an 11 seed, and they made the Sweet 16, and they were in what's called, I don't know how much you know about the tournament, but there's what they call the first four, and they actually play. So there's actually 68 teams that make March Madness, and they play like a win, and then you're into the main tournament, like entry
Okay.
game.
Sure.
Texas had to win an entry game, won their first round against the 6 seed, won another game, and then they just lost in the Sweet 16 by 2 on a game winner, man. Like
Nah.
they had a
Devastating.
heck of a run. So it's been a great tournament, man. Like if you see on social media, there's people that are saying this is probably one of the greatest tournaments ever. Like low seeds are winning quite a bit, tons of really good games. It's been fun. Now, in terms of the health of my bracket at this point, I've given up. My champion is still has a chance, and I'm really
Nah.
banking on that.
Sure.
But otherwise, the percentage is low. It's when you peak a percent, like the percentage on like like a big midterm test, you peak and you're like, and you just flip it right over because it's bad. It's so bad. And then someone next to you is like, "What'd you get on the test?" And you're like, don't ask." Like it's looking low. So, but it's fun. It's a good time of year.
Cool. Cool. You ever been? Have you ever been to a live college basketball game?
Yeah, man. I've been to quite a few, especially. So I went to Southern Utah University, as you know.
Sure.
Just a really small arena. It has like the stands fit like maybe like 2,700 people, maybe like right
Yeah.
around there. Like it's small, so it gets really rowdy when it's full. I'll tell you though, all the basketball games I went there were not full, but those gymnastics meets that we had, whew, that's when the crowd was roaring. The
For
gymnastics meet.
gymnastics?
SU's gymnastics team was incredible. They were
Cool.
like top 10 in the nation. But yeah, I've been to a lot of college basketball games in person at that school, and then a couple other ones as well, like
Sweet.
BYU, which is local, you know.
Yeah, those are fun to go to. I remember when I was younger, so my dad worked at a big funeral home over in Spokane, and he had a coworker who had a boyfriend, and I remember thinking this guy was wildly wealthy, and this is 2012, so I had to have been like 15. Let's see, I'm 28 now.
Okay.
So like I was pretty young. Uh, and I remember thinking this guy was super super wealthy. Because he's like, oh yeah, the other day, like I needed to some kind of. He's talking about taxes. I really didn't understand. I probably wouldn't have understood if he told it to me today. But as a 15-year-old, I really didn't understand. He basically said he had to go buy a brand new. It was a 2013 Cadillac Escalade. Because I remember being later in the year, I think it was December of 2012.
Was
And
this
he's like,
guy a
yeah, I just had to
mob
go buy it
boss, an
for
Escalade? Jeez.
yeah, like just a brand new Cadillac Escalade, and he just bought it just like for tax purposes or something like that. And I was like, he's like, yeah, I just
Fair.
kind of had some money burning a hole in my pocket, so I just bought a Cadillac Escalade. And it was kind of like no
This
big
guy.
deal. Like right now, I could go and buy like a big gulp at the town pump and be like, yeah, great, fantastic, yeah, whatever. That means nothing to me. That was the same to this guy. I thought that was crazy. Like this is probably the
Wow.
wealthiest person ever. And you want to know what he did for his wealth? Is he bought and he owned 3 United States post offices. And he contracted, he rents it out to
What?
the U.S. government. The U.S. government comes and uses them, and they just pay him. It's just mailbox money every month. They do the maintenance, the upkeep, everything like that. They pay the utilities, and he's just making mailbox money. And still to this day, I,
So
I imagine this guy.
they just lease the land from him essentially.
Well, no, so he had the buildings, and so he bought. Yeah, they were in the Spokane area, and
Off of
just
3, he had money like that where he was happen to drop money on an Escalade.
I'm
That's
I'm sure
crazy.
I'm sure he did more stuff too, but that's where I was talking to my dad about it. I was reminiscing because we were watching the tournament together. He's like, I was like, hey, do you remember that game we went to? Anyway, that was pretty cool. But anyway, so the game, it was pretty funny. So it was Gonzaga, and we went with this guy because he had some nice tickets. He's kind of one the like the pregame club where you go and have dinner beforehand, and there's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
kinds of nice stuff to go and eat and drinks and stuff. It's pretty cool. So stuff on my face, like ice cream, and that there's all kinds of nice food there. And they were playing against some team I never heard of. They were is the Campbell Fighting Camels, and they are from North Carolina.
This
And
is
they're
not real.
yeah,
I've
so
never heard of these guys.
so like
The
the Campbell Fighting
Camels.
Camels, yeah. So I looked them up afterwards, and they changed. They're the only school in the nation whose mascot is a camel, and they have two
No.
mascots. Yeah, no, and they have two mascots. It's Gladys and Gaylord, the camels. Anyway, so they were playing against
What are we
Gonzaga.
talking about?
Yeah, so they were playing against Gonzaga, and Gonzaga historically has been a pretty strong and solid team. And
Yeah,
I remember
especially that year.
so vividly at one point, like at the half, like right before the end of the first half, Some guy stands up and the Camels are down by like 30 points. Some
Of
guy stands
course.
up and he's like, "Hump 'em, Camels, hump 'em."
Oh my, if I'm a player, I'm like, "We better lock in for this second half." They've got a chant. They have a chant
Yeah.
that they're ready for, man. Oh my gosh.
That'd be
Hump 'em,
devastating if
Camels,
it,
hump 'em.
yeah.
I couldn't play. If I was in the game, I couldn't play under those circumstances.
No,
That's too
like
much.
as a Camels player, I'm like, okay, if we don't beat Gonzaga, we will, and our fans are yelling, "Hump 'em, Camels, hump 'em." There's no way we'll ever recover, ever.
Oh, dude, can you imagine a chant that grew and, like,
Hump 'em,
You're in
hump.
Campbell, yeah. Oh, 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 like, it is just getting crazy. And if I was a guy on the other team, I'd be concerned for my physical safety. I'd be
What's going on,
like,
dude?
are we alright? Like, should we get a police escort? Are we doing okay?" Like,
Little
that's
did we know,
crazy.
little we know as far as rowdiness goes, it's like Philadelphia Eagles fans, and then the Campbell Fighting Camels are close
Oh,
second.
dude, that's a
Apparently,
niche pocket of North Carolina. You're not a Duke fan, you're not a Tar Heels fan, you're a Campbell fan.
you're
Oh,
the Campbell,
you're
the
violent.
Campbell Fighting Camels.
Oh my word, brother. That's crazy. What a funny story. And that's
Ah,
funny that you went to the one game in Gonzaga against the only team that's Campbell's. Like what a
yeah,
weird
it
thing.
was weird. Like I looked it up, and I think they played at Gonzaga like twice, and it's like in 2012, and another time in like 2018, 2016, something like that.
Oh,
I
I
was looking it
genuinely
up.
thought you were gonna be like, and 1953 was the other appearance. And I was gonna say, yeah, I would believe you.
And honestly, it could have been. I don't know why. Gosh, it seems like a long way to come for a game with it's Spokane, Washington.
Yeah. That's you know what's funny is one of my old coworkers is from Seattle, and I didn't realize the beef, and maybe you'll be able to speak a little bit more to this, the beef between Western and Eastern Washington. Like, she was calling
Yeah,
Spokane
it's a real beef.
Spokompton, and I was like, come
You
on." I was like,
everybody
"It
calls
can't
so.
be that serious."
Yeah, well, everybody calls it Spokompton. Even the people in Spokane call it Spokompton. And I was right across the border in
Oh,
Idaho there, so we went there frequently. You're like, oh yeah, heading over to Spokompton. I think Spokane was a nice place. It was fun to visit. There's a lot of really neat things
I
to
was gonna say,
do.
is it that dangerous to call it Spokompton?
I honestly, so I was pretty young when I lived there. I don't really know. I didn't really look into the crime statistics. It's a city area, and where there's a lot of people, there's going to be crime. But I remember going as a kid and like going to do stuff like there's a pretty cool gondola ride you could take over the Spokane River, and I remember doing that a couple times. That was really fun. There's a nice big park that the gondola is at. I think it's just called Spokane Park. I can't remember what it's called, but there's a lot of neat places in Spokane. I really enjoyed going, and I'd do that. You'd go there for like my school clothes shopping, stuff like that.
Wow,
It was
yeah.
fun.
Oh,
But I have only good memories of Spokane. A bunch of people from Spokane are probably like, "No, it's horrible. You're wrong." Well,
well,
I
you'd
liked
think
it.
you'd have a little bit of pride, right? You'd think you wouldn't be like, "Yeah, that's us, Spokompton." Like, stand up for yourself a little bit. Like, what are we talking about?
I
Like,
guess like
I'm from Sunburst, Montana. Have you heard of it? No, you haven't. It is probably one of the 7 worst towns you could ever live in, like, in terms of, like, amenities. It's
yeah
got nothing. When they
yeah.
opened the grocery store in town, you would have thought someone from our town was elected as president. We had a town party, bro. We're
Was
so
there like a
small.
motorcade coming through the street, kind of
Bro,
like
when we do class reunions, we do an all class reunion so we have enough people
right,
that will
yeah,
pull up.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's just so small. But I just have a lot of pride for where I'm from, even though it's a tiny town of nothing. You'd think the people of Spokane, like puff your chest out a little bit. Go calling yourself
And
Spokompton.
And I'm sure there's probably a real beef from Eastern to Western Washington because the people from Eastern Washington will stick up for it. Like, there's a lot of really neat things about Eastern Washington, but when you're compared to like Western Washington, like the true like Pacific Northwest, like the Pacific part where you're right up against the ocean, that is one of the most beautiful areas on the planet. It's gorgeous. Like,
It
it's
genuinely is
hard.
really nice. The
It's hard
airport
to compete.
sucks, but I mean, it's
No,
fine.
I hate the Seattle airport.
It's awful.
It's not good. It's better than Newark, New Jersey,
I was about to ask
Newark,
you the
dude.
question. Rate it.
Yeah,
Give me Newark, give me Seattle. It's close. It's
like
close.
in my mind, Newark holds a special place in my heart for
Yeah.
worst airport. It's horrible. I hate going to Newark. The way you get around is awful. And then right above that is Denver because I've never gone to Denver and not had a delay. Like United claims to have like, oh yeah, like 95% of our flights are always on time. Like there's no possible way when every time I've gone to Denver, everything is delayed or canceled.
And all the scary lore about the Denver airport, like you get in and you're like, hopefully
It,
we don't get
and,
abducted. Like,
and yeah, the conspiracy theories, do you see that that the airport's starting to lean into it?
no, are they
No, so yeah,
scaring citizens?
yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah. So you go in and now they're like doing a bunch of construction and like they have like these dividers up with banners on it. The banners like has like the dollar sign with the Illuminati eye on it. It's like,
Oh.
are we? Is the Denver airport actually prepping to be a doomsday bunker? Find out more. And they have like a link to their website. I'm like,
That's
there's
criminal because the people that live around like the Denver or Wyoming area are the people that buy into that. They're creating like who was the guy that got found in Montana? The bomber dude. They're creating
the Unabomber.
They're
Yeah, the
creating more
Unabomber.
Unabombers. That's what they're doing.
Yeah,
It's their fault.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so whack. I hate that.
Yeah. Fun fact: they did find the Unabomber. I actually, this guy who goes to, I know a guy who he runs a tree cutting company down in Fairfield there, and he actually worked on the logistics team that picked up the Unabomber's house and transported it. Because there was something about like they couldn't enter his house because they couldn't get a warrant, but they're like, maybe we just pick up his house and put it somewhere so nobody can get into it while we wait for the warrant.
You're
They
telling
picked up
me
the whole
you're telling me
house.
when this is when they captured him?
So they had captured him. So they had brought him into custody, and his whole argument was like, you can't use any of this evidence against me because they found all of these components for making explosives in his home. And he's like, well, you can't use any of this against me because this is fruit of the poisonous tree. You could not enter that. You did not have a warrant. So because you didn't have a warrant, you cannot admit this as evidence. Like, shoot, he's right. And I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something like they couldn't get a warrant. And so, like, in the meantime, just so nobody tampers with the evidence, they picked up his entire house and moved it somewhere else.
Wait.
Yeah, they put this is a
I'm
real
on
thing.
trial, and the government is who I'm fighting against, and they're like, "Listen, we may have cut a little bit of corners," and it's like, "Oh, okay, so like, what did they possibly get evidence wise? Because I've cleaned everything up." They're like, "So we just picked up your house?" I'd be like, "No,
We've confiscated your house."
Hold on, so we confiscated the whole house, and we just put it somewhere where we could search it." I'd be like, that can't be right. Like that seems highly illegal. And they're like, well, you're a serial killer. I'd be like, I have rights. I'm like,
allegedly, serial killer. Allegedly,
Use
yeah.
that word real sparingly. Yeah, that's crazy. I thought at first you were suggesting that when they captured him, they didn't have a warrant to go in and he was in there, and so they just airlifted the whole house. And I was like,
No.
if I'm inside and I'm the Unabomber, and I'm like, safe in here, boys, and my world begins to rise, I'm just gonna blow up the house. I mean, why not? I'm lost.
It's like Up, yeah. It's like Up, but against your will. It's not willing. No, but yeah, they put it on the back of a truck and then they moved it somewhere else. And I can't. He told me why, but the guy who like worked out all the logistics for it, he lives down there in right close in here in Montana. Really, really nice and interesting guy to talk to. And he was telling me, but I just can't remember why he said that they had to move his house. But it was really interesting. It was really fascinating.
I've never heard something more suspicious in the entirety of my life.
Yeah, shout out Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah, no
hope prison's treating you well.
Is he still alive?
I think Ted Kaczynski's still alive. Let's see, is Ted
There's no
Kaczynski
way.
still alive?
He's gonna see this.
Oh, no. He so he passed away in 2023. Ted, he's gonna see this, and he's gonna send a package from Ted K. Not opening that one. No, he said. Now, speaking of crazy stuff, did you hear recently? So this isn't funny because somebody did.
I think I almost know exactly what you're gonna say.
Yeah, this is a pretty big story that I saw here, and I've been seeing a couple things about. Now, I probably shouldn't laugh because somebody did pass away as a result of this. So there's this guy. His name is I have it pulled up here. Dayton Weber. Dayton Weber is a cornhole champion. He's very, very good at cornhole, and he also is a quadruple amputee. He is
I'm so glad you're
accused.
saying something about this because this
Yeah.
is
So he's accused. So he's a quadruple amputee, and he was driving his car. Allegedly, he got in a big argument. There was him and three other people in the car. So it was like two people in the back seat, somebody sitting shotgun, and him sitting in the driver's seat. He was driving. How that works logistically, I have no idea. I'll be interested to see how this comes out. There's got to be
yeah.
some sort of 88 devices he uses. Anyway, uh, he got in this argument and allegedly shot the passenger. And after it happened, he talked to the passengers in the back. He says, "Hey, I need you guys to help me get this body out of the back." And the passengers are back like, "We're not touching this body, man." So they get out of the car. I don't know if he kicks them out or if they get out of the car. He drives off and they flag down the cops. The cops come. They tell him what happened. And they find the body like, I think it's like 2 or 10 miles away. So they find him a distance away down the road. And he had pushed the body out of the car just into someone's yard. And so he's in custody right now. Just this quadruple amputee who so many questions like,
Oh,
as a
endless.
quadruple amputee, how do you drive a vehicle? That'll be interesting to see. I'm sure there's lots of devices for that. That's fine. How do you
I've got a
fire?
more pressing question. I've got
What's
a
your
more
question?
pressing
Yeah,
question. I'm the passenger, and the guy driving, and I don't want to question the physical abilities of this guy because he's a cornhole champion, right?
I'm
Which
sure
gives you
he's
who
learned how
knows
to do
what.
it because like
But
I think he got
here's the
amputated in
thing.
infancy. Yeah,
Here's the thing. I'm the passenger. The conversation's getting you. You're telling me a quadruple amputee has ample time to pull a gun on me before I can respond because the other guy wasn't also a quadruple amputee, right? Like he clearly had the advantage in this situation, right?
just put your hand out. Hey, don't do that. It seems
Hey,
like it would be
maybe
pretty
use
simple.
your opposable thumbs and reach for the gun. You're telling me this guy had ample time as a quadruple amputee to pull a gun on me, shoot me, kill me. The fool in the back watched me, and I want to say this. Slowly pull a gun on this guy. So
It's
like take the time to pull a gun out. Unless I've got a gun attachment on one of my limbs that's been amputated, I
yeah.
refuse to believe this wasn't coerced by everyone else in the car and they hated this one guy.
Yeah.
There's no way. By the way, how's he driving this car? And I don't know much about
Yeah.
the new technology they've got.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? What does
So
he have?
and that is a really good point. Like how quick can a
Brother, I want you to
quadruple
put yourself in this
amputee
situation. I'm a
draw a
quadruple
firearm?
amputee
That's what
and
I'm
I'm
saying.
driving. I have clearly the Cerebro chair is what I'm driving on. It is the only
There's
way I can
something.
control this
Yeah.
car. I'm
Yeah.
driving. We're in a heated argument. I can't hit you or anything. I don't have a hand.
You don't have the reach.
I don't have the reach. I don't have the means. I can't lean, right? My balance is a little off, as I only have shorter legs as well. And
Yeah.
I have the time to look at you while driving this vehicle as a quadruple amputee and pull a gun before you can do a thing and I shoot and kill you. I genuinely, if I'm at the obituary, if I'm reading this obituary, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like I don't believe
it
this.
doesn't. Like I feel like the longer you think about it, the less it makes sense, and the more questions you have. It really is a crazy thing to think about. That was my first thought too. Is like logistically, how did this happen? Like how was he able to pull a firearm so quickly and fire on somebody as a quadruple amputee? It'll be interesting to see, as witness testimonies come out and stuff. I hope to be following this trial very
So,
closely.
do we know more about does he have a hook on the end of one of his hands? Because how's he pulling the trigger?
No. So I saw some clips of him, and it looks like I think he wears some kind of, I don't know if it's like a silicone sock or some kind of something on the bottom of his legs, and I think it looked like he's amputated above the knee, to kind of so he can kind of walk ish, more like I guess. I don't know if this is offensive to say like a hobble or like a waddle kind of thing, but he's able to move around. Like I saw some video footage of him playing in cornhole tournaments.
So I've seen the
And it looks
cornhole
like,
footage. He's
yeah, and
incredible.
it looks like he can get around pretty well, and I think he's a cornhole champion. I think he's won several events.
The
He
form
looked really
looks good.
Yeah, looks really, really good. So obviously, when you grow up this way, because I think all of his limbs are amputated because of a blood disease when he was an infant to prevent sepsis from from killing him.
from doing
Um,
everything else, yeah.
so when you grow up that way, I imagine when your entire world has just been that way your whole life, I imagine you just learn to adapt. It's probably fine. He'd probably move around totally fine, you know?
I
Um,
think you'd be hard pressed to name 5 people less threatening than a quadruple amputee, though, to use a gun as a weapon. I just think that's the craziest part of this whole
that
story.
is the craziest part. Like the dexterity required to draw and fire a firearm. It requires quite a bit of fine motor skill, I guess.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was able to do that without hands and fingers, that is, again, the longer you think about it, the worse it is.
And
I
then
don't know how
he
that
was
works.
able to push this guy out of the truck by himself, it sounds like, into somebody
And he
else's
had to.
car,
Yeah, he
and
was
then
all alone.
get back in the truck and drive off? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So
Like,
like
I
how
think
does
if
that
I
like
lost one of my legs, I all I would ask for is help the rest of my life, and you'd have to, like, get better at
yeah,
things, but, like, you're as someone who just wasn't allowed to walk for a long time, I was offered a lot of help. If I was missing all of my other legs, well, my one other leg
I,
and both of my
yeah.
other arms, I
Well, I'm sure you'd figure it out. I really do think you'd figure it out, but he had the benefit of his entire life he's had to figure it out, so he doesn't,
True.
that's his norm. You know what I mean? That I guess to me that is kind of having, as a person who does move bodies all the time, my profession as a mortician. Uh, how did he push that body out of the front? That's crazy to me. Moving, for lack of a better term, this is literally dead
Deadwood.
weight
Yeah.
that he's
I
able
think
to
that's where you're
push
going.
from a car without limbs. That's
Yeah,
clearly he's very capable. Is all I'm trying to say. Clearly he's very capable in
clearly.
spite of not having hands and most of his leg. That's
Yeah, my good word,
wild.
like,
Absolutely wild.
reading the story, you just read the headline and you're like, "This must be AI." Like,
It has
you
to be.
see
It
it,
has
it's
to
like,
be. Yeah.
this is AI, and then there's footage of the guy playing cornhole, and you're like, "He's actually pretty skilled."
Yeah.
And then if he is a champion, you're like, "Oh, well, he's actually outpacing others who have
Yeah.
real fingers and such to give more spin or whatever." I'm not a great cornhole player or whatever the advantage may be of that, and he's the champion. But again, it just it seems fantastical in a lot of ways. I guess we'll have to keep up on the trial and give an update. I wonder if
We'll
there's going to be
we'll
some
have to.
heavy conspiracy that comes out as well. You know
I don't know. He's 27. He's your age, by the way.
that I don't know, man. I have very little else to say because my first statement I'm so stamped on. Like I just don't know how, as the person who was injured, how did I not defend myself? How did I lose that situation? I don't know.
But it does make you think a little bit. You know what I mean?
It's craziness.
It is crazy.
I'm glad you brought it up though. What an interesting headliner for
Current
this week.
event.
Yeah.
uh, it's so crazy. Like, whatever. Moving on. So this segment is going to be called the hot take segment. I have
Oh,
written
I'm
down
excited,
here
man.
a list of several hot takes that I feel like are hot takes. Perhaps many people will agree with me, but I believe them to be hot takes. I'm going to
Okay.
read them off, and Tim is going to react to each one of them. We're going to talk, maybe
Oh,
touch on a couple of, maybe we
I don't
agree
know if there's
heavily on them.
anything this week that's been more exciting than this. Let's do it.
So just bear with me. There might be some that you agree with me with. I feel like there are a couple that you will probably agree with me
We'll see.
with,
We'll see.
but there's okay. We'll start off just like general. I think if and maybe this isn't such a hot take, more as just some good life advice I wanted to share. If you wouldn't take advice from someone, you shouldn't let their criticism affect you. I feel like that's pretty mild. Maybe not too hot of a
Yeah,
take.
there is like, and there is. I feel like these circumstances where, like, a homeless person is made a lot of bad decisions or unfortunate circumstance happened to them, whatever
Or
it is.
mental illness or something, yeah.
Right, or something, whatever happened to put them in that circumstance,
Right.
but they're really down on their luck and they're struggling, and maybe you wouldn't take it like financial advice from them potentially, right?
Sure.
But they tell you, "But you're really ugly." that hurts. Like, that's, because I'm taking that criticism on the chin. I'm changing up the way I look. If a whole person tells me I'm ugly, I'm freaking ugly. Like, that's like, I don't know, man. That just seems fair. Like,
Yeah, but I guess the reason I just really don't like if I'm not going to take, for example, if there's somebody that I know and I just totally don't respect them because of choices they've made, and they want to come in and
right.
criticize the way I'm doing something, I'm just like, yeah, who cares what you have to say, you know?
I
Which
hear it.
again, now I guess I say this, it's not really too hot of a take.
Well, and kids,
Uh,
man, I feel like kids are people you wouldn't take, like certain kids as well, that you wouldn't take advice from, but they're so brutally honest. Like, you might say something like a very niche critique of you, and you'll be like, "Wow, that's facts." Like,
it's just,
actually,
you know what? You
that
know what?
is true.
That'd be, yeah, I feel like children do bring people to their knees with their
Yeah,
opinions, but
they'll be like, "Okay, guy with the unsymmetrical face." You're like, "Oh, yeah."
what do
You're
you
like,
mean? I
"Yeah,
don't have to.
yeah." You tilt, yeah, the obvious tilted response.
uh, so the next one, again, we're starting off light. I feel like if somebody asks you for something,
Okay.
like, hey, what is your opinion on XYZ? Or like, what do you think I should do for XYZ? 95% of the time, they're not looking for honesty. They're just looking for validation.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, I feel like this is very modern in what in the ask. Like, if you see someone on social media asking for something, I agree. I feel like a lot of times that it's a show or they're looking for some type of validation. Other times, though, they're especially I feel like working in healthcare, you'll hear some of the silliest questions. You'll be like, you must be pulling my leg."
Yeah,
Like,
you have to
so
be.
I've been eating 10,000 calories a day, and then I go to the gym and I walk for 24 minutes, not losing weight. What's going on? And I'm like,
Do you-
right, right.
Maybe switch to Diet Coke.
They're like, I also drink 3 ounces of water a day. Feeling pretty thirsty. I'm like, right, right. So it's, I don't know. I do feel like there is like a baseline level of bad, like, you hear all the time, like, there's no bad questions. There are bad
Now,
questions. I feel like that's true. That's my hot take. There's a lot of bad questions.
you know what the shopping cart test is?
No.
So the shopping cart test,
Wait, maybe.
yeah,
Like, if you put it
okay,
back at the grocery store?
yes. I think the shopping cart test is the single greatest litmus test for judging what a person's character is actually like. I think that is
So,
the singular test you can put on somebody that will tell me everything I need to know about you and if I want to be around you.
I was at Sam's Club just the other day,
Okay.
and a lady was bringing her groceries out to her car and then put the cart just in a parking spot right in front of her. As a truck was coming around to park in that spot, she pushed it into the spot and just freely let it go, and just set
That
it in there. This
that's
truck
crazy.
this truck said rolled his window down, said some really harsh things, and then honked
And
her into a
honestly,
corner, came behind her and honked her into a corner and pushed her up until she got out of her car. I was sitting there like a little creeper. I'm just eating a meal, just just
you
scoped in on this
crack
situation.
the window. You crack the
Dude,
window and you just look
yeah,
like you're looking
and
at
I'm
your phone.
watching I'm eating it up, dude. It's spoon-fed to me. Watch this. He's honking at her. He's like, "Put the card away!" Just screaming at her. And he's in this big lifted truck. She's driving a bright blue little, like, hatchback car, and I was like, "This is getting crazy." And he's just hammering the horn. You could hear a pin drop everywhere else, and she did. She put it away. He bullied her
Good.
out of it, and then he did a full lap around and then parked in her spot. I was like, "This guy's petty, man.
That's
This dude's
the cherry on top.
petty, bro."
Like, honestly, like, so there's a failure of the shopping cart test, which is, that is like above and beyond a failure to push it into a spot that someone's about to park in. That is insane behavior. That's insane
This
behavior.
is yeah, I feel like this is almost universal. And the thing is you see it all the time though. You just see loose carts around and you're like,
Yeah.
"Who is doing this? Like, this is
Yeah.
crazy." Because
It's horrible.
there's nobody I know, at least nobody I know that would admit that they don't, doesn't put their cart back. It just is the right thing to do. I feel like everyone's mom is like, you've helped them put groceries away as a little kid. We're gonna go put our cart away." Of course, like, we'll go put the cart away, and do it together. I just don't know anyone that's like, just leave the cart, somebody will take care of it." I'm like, I don't know if I could keep being your friend. I think it
That's
would shatter our friendship
that's
foundation.
what I'm saying. I feel like if I were to find out that you were like that, like, and you and I being the best of friends, like, hey, by the way, Tim doesn't put his card away. I'd be like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, you'd be like,
What? Like,
"Was he
you'd get a
did he get hit
pass.
on the head?"
Yeah, like you'd get a pass the past few months if you're like, listen, I literally can't because of my knee surgery. Like there's that. That's fine. Disability or injury, that's one thing. Willingly being able to do so and then not, like, I will intentionally position my cart my park whenever I park at the store. I'll be like, okay, there's a spot that is closer to the store, but this spot I'm at is closer to the cart return. So I'll do, in my mind, less total walking. So, I go and
I
I'll
could
put my
park
to unload.
100 spots away from a cart return. I'm putting it back.
You're
I
still
I
putting it back.
I
Exactly.
just don't care. Yeah,
But if you
I
can
will bring it
strategically
back.
park, like, let's say there's a spot right next to the front of the store, or there's a spot that's pretty close to the front of the store, but right next to the cart return, which one are you taking?
So here's the thing. This is I feel like this is unique. If I don't take the closest spot to the store, my wife will resent me for the whole shopping trip. She is interested in
Right.
parking inside of the store if it's an option, so we can just stroll in. If I park like, if there was a spot that is one, like, right close to it, and I happen to
Sure.
take the second spot, she'll be like, "What are we doing?" Like, that's objectively 4 feet closer, and I'm like, "Well, I understand, but this was an easier park for me, like, I pulled it better."
Sure.
She'd be like, "So you're a bad driver." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, this is how it goes."
You
Like,
just want to belittle me.
it's one of her things, man. She wants to be close to that store, man.
Which is fine. That's okay. As long as you're putting your shopping
Yeah,
cart away. But anyway, that's my progressively hotter take.
okay.
Next hot take. If you're on first class or business class on an airplane, you should board last.
Ooh,
You
I
should board
like
last.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like if you're on the back of the plane, you should board first, and then
I
the next
agree.
group, and all the way up to the front. If you're in the very front of the plane, you should board last.
I think this is totally correct. And not only that, doesn't it feel like the people in the front of the plane wanna kinda spit on you as you walk by?
Every time,
Yeah,
and like
man.
I've sat in front first class one time. I got a free seat upgrade, and I was like, yeah, this is like. Granted, it wasn't like on an international flight, like an international flight where you're getting like the lay flat mattresses and stuff. That's totally different.
Oh,
Where,
that's
but they have them
crazy.
separate. Like you get onto the middle plane, and like, no, you cannot come past this curtain if you're one of the coach peasants. Do not pass this curtain under penalty of death. And then you
Yeah,
go to the right.
man.
But when you're walking like on those domestic flights, you see all those people sitting up first class. I'm like, you paid for a
Dude,
first class
everyone
ticket
instantly gets the
for an
champagne hand too. Like,
yeah,
everyone's
and, like
suddenly holding a glass, and they're like, "Well, well, look at the
yeah,
pores coming by," and you're like, What's
like
going on?"
I see people that willingly pay for first class seats from Great Falls to Salt Lake, and that's like at a 55-minute flight. I'm like, what are we doing? If it's a free upgrade, that's one thing. Like, cool, maybe you
Right.
paid for Comfort Plus and they bump you up. Cool. But these people, with how many flights taken, there has to have been a few people like, no, we have to get first class. Like, an upcharge for what? For a little bit more legroom and a little bit more seat width for a 50-minute flight? That's crazy.
Now I'm
Whatever.
gonna say something here that might be a little bit controversial, is that if if I am on one of those, like, what are they, like UAE planes? You know, the one where they show it on
The Fly
TikTok?
Emirates?
Yeah, 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 and you
Yeah, yeah.
roll in, and there's like like what are they, a stewardess, like, ready for
Yep.
you, and she's like, "This is your specific unit. There's chairs, there's a bed, there's a TV, there's a whole thing for meals." I do think I'd act really pompous. I think it would really affect me. I'd be like, "Ring-a-ding-ding-ding, ring-a-ding-ding, where is the steak?" Like, I think I might act differently,
You're
unfortunately, but I've never experienced something like that.
yeah,
I just, it would take over me.
you're immediately switching up on your day ones there. You're like, no, you guys go sit in the back. I got this free seat upgrade. I'm going to act like I'm better than you. Like those Fly Emirates plates, they have like when you reach cruising altitude. I've seen some videos of some. Never been in one. But where they have like the stand up, like you walk up to a bar and you can go drink at a bar while the plane's in the air. Like,
Yeah,
that's
man, it's
crazy.
crazy. I'm like, I've never seen something like this. I do think if, like, we were flying together and it just so happened that, like, I had one of the upper class suites and
Oh,
you were down low,
oh,
you would, like, look at me once and I'd be in something like this, like a Nike tracksuit, and you'd look back and I'd be in like a 4 button down open lidded shirt with the glasses on, and I'd be like, "I'll see you later, Austin. I'll be upstairs." Like, like, what did he change? Like, I think it would take over me. It would be crazy.
I feel like I'm taking advantage of like, hey, what can I get here that's free? I feel like I'd be taking everything that's not tied down. I feel like this is
Oh,
the one
yeah.
time in my life I'll be able to fly like this, unless I
Do you
accidentally
think I could
trip
have an
over a
orange
billion
juice?
dollars.
They'd be like, "Oh, yeah, fresh squeeze?" I'd be like, "Yes. Yes, I
Fresh
would
squeeze,
like."
give me like 6 of those, please.
Oh, yeah, dude. I agree. I think this is a good take, though. I 100% agree. Just board it in the order that the seats are gonna,
Yeah,
be most convenient to sit,
exactly.
which would
Like,
be back to front.
yeah. Like, and for me, like, I feel like if I was sitting in first class, like, okay, so I get like 25 extra minutes to sit in my seat while everyone boards. Who cares? Anyway,
Yeah,
moving on.
craziness.
Society has been too hard on Karens.
Okay, hold on. Before I say something, explain yourself.
I feel like there, to an extent, we've seen some of those, quote unquote Karens, which obviously, you could have the name Karen and be a wonderful person, but these are the people that, like, we call it the stereotype where, yeah, I want to talk to your manager, and they're horribly rude to service workers, and they'll yell and scream and kick and fight whenever they can. Um, and some of those people, yeah, we absolutely should like, I have seen some Karens, like, over things that it's blown up to the point where people could be like, "Hey," like, you tell me, whenever you have to ask for something at to a service worker that they messed up on, do you almost feel like a little bit bad inside? Like, "Oh, shoot, I hope they don't think I'm coming off
They've
Karenish."
specifically made a mistake.
They made a mistake. Let's say they bring you, like, you order,
I said, "Give me an
uh,
example." Yeah.
like, let's say you order a root beer and they bring you Dr. Pepper or something, and you're like, "Hey, this is wrong." Like, and it's a fine ass. They're probably like, "Yeah, that's no problem." Me personally, I feel like a little bit like, I just don't want to cause trouble.
No, it might just because I and I've worked at my new job for just a little bit, and one of my coworkers the other day said, like, "Tim's one of the most confident people I ever met." I'm just dripping in confidence and confrontation, which is probably a bad combination, but
It is. Yeah, I've been your friend for a long
I'll
time.
just
It's a horrible combination.
I'll just say, "Hey, sir, it doesn't seem like this is a root beer. See, I was hoping I could get a new one." Like, I would just say something. I remember,
Sure.
though, one time I think this might be one of the reasons why people are lit off, but we were at Olive Garden, me and my wife's family, and my father-in-law had asked for a certain, like, sauce that came with the pasta that he got,
Sure.
and he tasted it, he's like, I still like this sauce," and the waitress came back, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, would you, get some on the spoon for me? Let me smell it," and he got some on his spoon and held it up to this waitress's face. She was like, she's like, "Yeah, I don't think that's right," and I was like, "What is going on right now?" I was like, "Why did you have to
Just
do that?"
wafting.
And I was like, I think back to your question, it's because of the situation could get, like, awkward or uncomfortable. I think that might be why some people don't, but I don't think you're being a Karen if you ask for something to go
Right.
right.
So this is only one part of it. So me personally, like, because of how much you see it in the public eye, I feel like almost a little bad asking for extra, like, clarifications or things that were wrong to make it right. It's to the point though where someone could have a genuine, legitimate gripe, like, "Hey, you really truly did your job poorly," and people on the internet will crucify them because they'll only get one part of the story where they're getting really upset, like, "Oh, you're a total Karen" and stuff, and they will instantly rally around the person who's filming, or
So
like
so
the
your take
the
is
service
that
worker.
complaints have become, like just complaining in general has forced people into calling you a Karen, like, if you complain?
Yes. Yeah, so
Okay.
people were being like, there have been people who've been doxxed and had, like, but there have been people who've
Yeah.
had their lives ruined, and some of those people probably deserved it. I think you should be 100% respectful to all service workers all the time. They,
Yeah, especially
part-time.
waiters and
y-
such, they just
Yeah,
get the worst.
we've all been there. You know what I mean? Part-time jobs in the service industry, that kind of stuff. But it's to the point where it's gotten so extreme that I don't feel like, even if you have a legitimate complaint, I feel like a lot of times people will go to the defense of the service workers, even if they're objectively in the wrong. So in that sense, I do think that they've been too hard on some of them. Totally deserved. because some of them are really, really, really tough and horrible. There's just horrible people out there.
Do
But
you
by
think
and
that's
large, I
a
think
problem in our generation specifically though? Like our generation, do you feel like
no,
we complain a lot? Because and
no,
everything you're gonna hear from like if a boomer was to listen to this right now, they'd be like, "Let me tell you about the worst generation that's ever lived,"
right.
and they would say that all we do is complain and we don't work hard. I at least in the circles that I run in, I feel like people are just trying to get what they want, be treated fairly, and they are
Have
just
minimal
asking.
interaction.
Yeah, it's true, like, a lot of people I have no contactless delivery turned on
Right.
my
Yeah,
DoorDash, right? Like,
of
and
course.
it's like, I feel like the people that cause those big confrontation blowouts are not Gen Z and, like, Gen Alpha. I think that is
Mhm.
100% a boomer Gen X thing where they're like, "I don't understand, and I'm gonna create a crazy ruckus,"
Yeah.
and then, like, somebody
Yeah.
from Gen Z pulls their phone out, they're like, "I'm being recorded," and they
Yeah.
lose their mind. So,
Which I
yeah,
get it.
I
I don't
guess
like
it's
being recorded either. You know what I mean? I get not wanting to be
right.
recorded, but I do feel like a lot of
But if
that
you're
comes from
acting
the older
like a
generation.
fool and someone
Hmm.
decides to turn out to get their phone out and record you because they're like, "This person seems like they could be a threat, and I'm gonna record them for my safety," or whatever, like, they wanna do, that's fine, and they can freak out and say whatever they want, like but, yeah, I don't know, man. I think complaining is really fair. I think more my this and I may get maybe this is my counter hot take. I think people have lost the ability to confront others in a lot of ways.
Agree. Agree. Yeah.
And it's just like having a hard conversation, it just doesn't happen a lot of times anymore, especially like new workers are afraid to like ask their boss like I would like a raise. I think I deserve a raise. I contribute a lot. I've upped the value of the company or what XYZ or whatever it may be. And people are just afraid to do that because it's a really uncomfortable hard conversation. At my
Yeah.
last job, there was people that for lack of a better term didn't work as hard as others. And
Right.
didn't contribute as much that we thought maybe there was a better profession for them to pursue.
Sure.
And we assumed that conversation was going to happen and going to happen and going to happen from the supervisor or the manager, and nothing just ever happened. And the whole thought process was people are just afraid of these hard conversations. Where that's not me. Oh, just come sit in my office. Let's
To
have a chat.
to to a fault. To a fault, of course.
Oh, I will triple down on you. Yeah, it's like
I know you will. That's fine. Yeah,
yeah.
there that I get it. Like Gen Z, I feel like pretty non-confrontational. Well, at least all the people that I know, except for
Yeah.
you. Yeah, you're the literal total opposite. Moving on. Uh, this might be a personal opinion. I think I'll probably be in the vast minority on this one.
Okay.
If you're at a potluck and you take leftovers home, you're a villain. I just don't feel like I feel like you should take home the dish that you brought and like let's say okay, we're going to take home I bring chicken fajitas, there's some left. I'll take those home, that's fine. If you're taking stuff from everyone else,
If you take a combination platter to go,
I
oh, yeah.
I think
I
you're a villain.
agree.
I do
I
not
agree.
agree with you. Yeah.
I think they
I
should line everyone that was there up in, like, 2 lines on your side, and you should have to walk through everyone and look them in the eye. You should
yeah.
have to walk of shame combination plate out of
Or
there.
or worse, even worse is like, "Oh, hey, I'm just making a plate for my husband. He didn't want to come." Like, well, then he doesn't get to eat if he didn't want to come. Like if he couldn't come, maybe you
Yeah.
get a pass if we're feeling lucky. But I feel like if you're taking leftovers from a potluck, I just feel like you're a villain. I don't like that.
I think I'm with you, man, and I don't think you're in the minority. I think that's the correct take, and by people be like, I feel like this would be the response you get. The food was here. I thought I'd take it. Are those not the people's leftovers that came that who brought the dish? This is what it
That's what
seems
I'm
like to
saying.
me.
Yeah,
Right?
with the
Yeah.
exception of like if you're okay with sharing, that's fine. Like if I made 20
Right.
pounds of potato salad
Yeah.
and I
If
have
I if
15
I made
pounds left,
12 dozen cookies and there's 8 dozen
yeah,
left, and I'm like, hey, 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 that's for
please.
me.
Please say
Yeah.
you go
Take
distribute them. Yeah, like if
right.
somebody's like, "Hey, oh man, those beef short ribs that are definitely going to be the first thing that are gone. I'm going to take those home." Like you're a villain. You are a villain. I'm
Oh,
getting
let
a
me
little
say
heated about
something
this one.
though. If you're
Go
putting
ahead.
mini corn dogs up there, I might take a few out of
Brother, you have income. You could just go buy your own mini corn dogs. Just go to Sam's Club and get your own. You're a villain.
Fair.
In the presence of many
Eh,
corn dogs, you
that
control yourself.
yeah, it makes me weak in the knees. I don't know what it is, man. It
They're 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 excellent. Have you ever had like
yeah.
those mini like the breakfast corn dogs?
Yeah, pancake on a stick, talk to me. Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Oh, this is something that happened to me today and made me so angry.
I'm
I was so
nervous.
mad. If you stop at a four-way stop and you wave somebody on and they don't accept it and they try to wave you on instead, I feel like you should be allowed to get out and hit them. That makes me so effing angry.
You
I'm
think
like, all
you
right,
should think there should be trials of combat in a four-way
there
stop is
should
what
be.
you
I'm getting out and I'm taking my shirt off. I'm like, come on. I told you to go. Get out of here. Like nothing's more infuriating. And sometimes today made me really upset because the guy stopped before me and he was looking at me. I said, go, waved him on. And he's like, no, you go. I'm like, oh my gosh, just go. I'm waving you on. Don't wait around. Don't play this politeness game. Just if somebody waves you on, go. If somebody waves me on, I just go because that's a normal thing to do.
Yeah, I do feel like it is in the other person's right. Like if you pull up to a four-way and you wave them on and they wave you on and neither one of you go, and then you were the first person to wave, and so that person, you've given them the right of way, and you're like, "All right," and then you start to go, and they also start to go at the same time. If they drive directly at you, I feel like it's within their right. You wave them off, like, you're making them upset. That is
Yeah.
it is though, like, I don't know what it is about four-way stops. People drive regularly, and they come to that or a roundabout, and they
Within
just are like
100 feet. They
they're
forget how
just
to
like,
drive. Yeah, they've
"Whatever."
never driven before.
They're
Yeah.
like, we're about to enter the wastes. This is where there are no rules." Like,
This is the Wild West.
yeah, dude, it really is, like, there's just I don't know, like, emotional tension, I guess? Like, you roll up and you're like, "Let me be" okay, well but you roll up and you're trying to be polite, is what I'm trying to say, like, you're trying to, like, wave somebody
Yeah.
on and be polite, even if you maybe got there and it's I know you're a strict follower of the rules, it sounds like. Sometimes if I see an older guy, I'll be like, "Yeah, come on, let's let you go first and whatnot," and they'll wave you on. What I don't like is if I go and then they, like, honk the horn at me or flip me off after they wave me on, and I'm like,
Oh, has that
"What?"
happened to you? Is that a legit thing
Yeah.
that's happened to you? That's never happened to me,
Genuinely.
but I would fly
There have
into a
been times
rage.
where I'll come and it'll be like that kinda wave hand situation, and I'm like, "Alright, well, neither one of us have gone yet, I'm gonna go," and then you hear, like you look and see the other person, they're like, "F you!" Like, and you're like, "We just had a friendly waving interaction, what changed?" I'm telling you, people don't act regular at four-way stops,
No.
it's
No.
bad.
Yeah, there are certain things that people do in their life that they just turn their brain off. Four-way stops, roundabouts, uh, those are the main ones I can think of right now. Yeah, genuinely, people like just forget how to drive. Parking lots, I feel like a lot of times people just forget how to drive in parking
I
lots.
feel
You
like
see
a
someone
parking
fly by.
terrace, the ones that go up and
Oh
down, yeah,
yeah,
parking
yeah, yeah,
terrace,
yeah,
people lose
yeah.
it.
That one too.
It's the height gain, it must be an elevation thing.
All right, here's my next one.
Oh, this must be
People,
scorching just by your face.
people who go to restaurants and order something healthy I think, are psychopaths.
Well, hold on though.
Like you go to like Applebee's and someone's like, "Yeah, I'll just have a salad." Weird. You're not going to get the wonton tacos? You're not going to get mozzarella sticks? You're going to Chili's and you're not getting the triple dipper? What are we talking about? Like you go to a restaurant that's what's up like there's this place down in Arizona, it's called like Flower Child, and it's like food that's all pretty healthy. Okay, that's
Okay.
one thing. You can only get healthy stuff. But people that go, like, yeah, I'm going to go to Mackenzie River Pizza Company and I'm not going to get the lodge poles. I'm not going to get a pizza. I'm just going to get a small salad for myself. Be so for real.
So you think that every time you go out, it's an experience and you should be going out to have the best time and like eat whatever you
Yes.
want.
Yes. If you're just wanting something quick to go and be healthy, like you can stop by somewhere that has like a quick salad, like a little salad bar. You go to Smith's or you go to like Harmon's or something, and you just like make yourself a little salad really quick, and then you go. Great, and you can eat on the go, and you're being healthy. Fantastic. If you're going to a restaurant, I feel like you should go and eat good food.
I do feel like I don't know, man. I feel like there's a lot of options when it comes to stuff like that because there are restaurants that just have healthier options. And if I go and I want something a little lighter, like I'm not
Again,
hungry, like I don't feel like that's too bad. Like in general, I do feel
I
like
do.
this
I
is
do think it's
this is a
bad.
personal bias take, in my opinion. That you're a little off base here.
Eh, Again, I'm aware that these are hot takes. I'll be in the minority on some of these. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, this one luckily hasn't happened to me in North Montana, but it did happen to me when I was working at a funeral home over in Utah.
Okay.
If you microwave fish at work, you should lose HR protection.
Oh, you should just be a target.
I don't think HR should stick up for you. If you come to HR for, hey, there's this problem I'm having with another employee, like, oh, you microwaved fish in the building 2 months ago. We cannot help you with this issue. I'm sorry.
I've
Clearly, you
never
don't want to
had
be
this
considerate
issue.
of others.
How bad was it though? Like it was.
It was horrible. It was horrible. Like it was like
all day bad stink kind of thing.
Yeah, and it wasn't like fish and chips or anything. It was some it's like a fish. It was like a fish pad thai or something like that. It wasn't a pad thai. It was it was like
already
a fish,
bad that they're eating that at work. That's
it was
crazy.
some kind of fish and noodle soup, something like that.
Okay,
I just remember walking into the kitchen and be like, "Whoa, this is bad."
So it
and then I walked out
to smell this. Like
it rocked
you.
me. It was like it put hair on my chest. It was insane. I like so the way it worked. So there was like the prep room, the embalming room. And you walk through a little foyer, and there's this old house in Salt Lake City. And then you walk through like another part of there's like a parlor, and I could smell it right when I walked out of the prep room faintly. I'm like, what is that smell? Immediately thinking the worst because we work with deceased people every day. Like, oh geez, what's happening? What is that smell? Thinking it perhaps was coming from a body. Go into the parlor. I'm like, whoa, it's getting way stronger. Open the door to the little dining area. I'm like, oh, it was horrible. And it's right next to the flower shop, and you'd think that the smell of flowers would be able to like make it smell a little better. It was bad. I don't think they ever brought that again. It was a one and done type of situation. It was horrible.
Yeah, and I hear you. I do feel like there should be, and this is a hot take. There just needs to be occasions where HR's like, if you guys just want to duke it out, whoever wins, like you get a set. Like you get a set.
Here's some gloves. Go at it.
Like there's a show I'm watching right now, and it's like this like fight and tournament that happens in the show. What happens is if you get points by defeating like other people that are, and the people are forced into this tournament essentially like against their will, and you get points in the tournament by defeating certain like levels of people that have a certain like grade assigned to them. And if you get to 100 points, you get to make a new rule that is applied to the entirety of the game. And like so the only thing is like you just can't be like I win, or like it can't be something that goes against any of the rules or the spirit of the game is the only thing. But if you can spend 100 points to add a rule, I do feel like HR should let people kind of duke it out and it'd be like, okay, you get one amendment to the HR rule. So you'd be like, well. And it's
you can't do that because it'd be like some creepy guy's like, I'm going to expunge my sexual harassment charge in the company record.
You can't erase them. The rules.
Sure.
Okay. Like I said, it has to be within the limits. I would make it the same thing. Like you can't change other rules. They make the same. But you can add a rule. Essentially, so you can't change anything, but you can add another rule. I feel because you could get creative if HR gave you unlimited like reality warping powers essentially for a day, and you're just that's too much pressure. I don't know what I'd put. I really don't.
You gain 1 day of PTO per PTO day used or something like that breaks reality. Like I guess they could just be off forever.
Brother, that was quick. That's genius.
I'm off forever now.
Business. Instantly out of business. Yeah, I wonder if you would like the pressure would get to me and I'd be like, the toilet paper has to be 6-ply. Just like
this is like
HR rule.
Lunch is now from 12:30 to 12. You say it's now from 12 to 12:35 instead of 12 to 12:30. It was like, okay, 5 minutes.
It's a bad rule. You screw over the lunch. The workers like all lunch breaks can only be 15 minutes. Everyone's like, Tim, why would you do that? And you're like, I just really feel like the productivity's been poor around here. They're like, what are you doing? You beat the shoes out of Kyle to worsen our lunch breaks. I'm like, guys, I felt a lot of pressure in the room writing the rule. Like, they're like, why would you do that?
Sorry. I'm not perfect. Jeez.
Yeah, sorry. I like to work. And oh, dude, you're getting immediately dragged into another combat. And imagine you win that one, and you're like, 10 minutes.
And who wants some more? Who's next?
I dare you. I'm
That's
2 and
hilarious.
0. Like, come to the back. The problem is with that combat rule, you can't be like, I'd like to enter into combat with Stacy from HR. And they're like, okay,
Whoa,
like,
hey,
like, and I have a grievance against her. I'd like to get a rule change. And they're like, we can't have this. Like,
can't do,
it's like, you
okay,
can't attack HR members, you know?
but here's the caveat: HR members, they get a weapon or something like that. Like,
Whoa. No way. Like, what if you get in and they've got like, they just have like a katana? I'm like, what's going on?
I forfeit, I guess. Nope, you can't
Yeah.
forfeit. You gotta fight. You have to.
Cannot forfeit. Those are the rules of the game. They're like subsection C, page 36, like, because they know front to back.
The letter of the law. Yeah, so
Wow,
that
that's
actually segues perfectly into my next hot take here.
okay.
I think that once a year, all service workers in the United States should get one free pass to beat the shiz out of a rude customer.
Oh, so anybody who works in like retail or like food
Yes.
services or
Retail, food service, any kind of hospitality, something like that, they get one free pass where there's no repercussions as long as they can somewhat prove that the guest was being rude. They can go. I
okay.
feel like this would be good for a couple of reasons. One, it would put a lot of these people in their place because they're like, oh, what are they going to do about it? Boom, boom, boom. That's what we're going to do about it.
I
Second
don't have
off,
the
like,
self-control for this. I'm burning it Jan 1. Someone would run me the wrong way Jan 1, and I'd rock
some
somebody.
some meek like fella comes in. Can I please get extra red sauce on my bean burrito? You're like, what? Bam, bam.
Demanding I pick him. They're like, well, he kind of asked more than once. It's like,
And
come
and
on, guys.
I feel like for the whole year, like people would be like, gosh, I'm really upset about this, but I don't know if this person's burned their once a year pass, so I can't really be that rude. And
Yeah, that's true.
but I do feel like, yeah, like a
So
waiter
you
comes
want
with
you want retail by fear to be the new thing, so
yeah,
everyone's
I do.
respectful because there's a chance you could get rocked?
Yeah, I do. I think under the threat of constant physical violence, you would just be way nicer to everyone. I feel like there's a lot of people who walk around just cocky and arrogant as heck because they've never been punched in the face. That changes. You go up and like Susan, who's working at Applebee's, you're super rude to her and you don't tip, and she meets you in the parking lot
Oh.
with some brass knuckles. You're like, okay, Susan, let's talk this out.
Yeah,
I think
restaurants would become war zones is the
they
problem,
would.
like
Absolutely, yeah. Because too many
yeah.
people are rude. That's the thing. I feel like that would fix that problem. And
This is
if the
I think
problem
there
persists,
has to
give
be
them
a
two passes.
requirement. There needs to be a sign on every establishment that is like retail workers that
No,
like
you pass
like
it.
no, hold on,
You
hold on,
pass
hold
it into law.
on. No, this is fine. This is fine. There needs to be a sign that says like 15 beatings left. And you're like, oh no. I need to behave. Because you can walk in and you just see a guy just, oh, how can I help you? And you're like, I I think I'd like to work with somebody else. And he's like, oh, I've been itching for someone to come in.
I'm so sorry. It's
This
like December
would be the death
31st.
of brick and mortar. Brick and mortar would crumble. It would only be online, but Amazon workers are having a field day. Oh, Amazon workers would be in their bag. If you're a Prime delivery driver, bro, oh, because you're dropping somebody off. If anybody gives you beef at the door, because it might be a new person every day. Because imagine you order a lot of packages and
Yeah.
you're just kind of a rude dude. You get rocked by somebody like that day from Amazon. The next day, you're thinking, I'm gonna go be rude again because I can be, and it's a new person, and they rock you as well. It's back to back. You shape up. You really want. You'd shape up, and maybe you'd order less from Amazon as well. You know, but
Yeah, well, I think it's funny, like the premise of it, like like an Amazon Prime driver just rocks some guy. It's like, I'm calling the cops. The cops show up, be like, hey, we had this. You've heard about this domestic dispute. What do you have to say about it? He's like, no, yeah, I get my one pass every year per federal law. Like, okay, give us your punch card. Just like, clip. All right, see you next year.
so
I think that'd be funny. Like, you walk
if
in,
you're a
you like,
delivery driver, does your vehicle have to say like one beating remaining? It's just you. So everyone knows you're on smoke. Like, don't mess with him. He's
yeah,
amped.
I was gonna be really upset about my package, but so decided was van. No thanks. I
Yeah.
think it'd be funny too, like the premise of like it's December 31st, and you just walk into a Barnes and Noble, and someone like an employee's just like, "Hey, I didn't use my beating this year." Boom, boom. Just like, oh,
Yeah,
what
man,
the heck?
that's what I'm saying, like, if you really wanna close a mom and pop shop down, that this is the way to do it. Because
Oh,
say you're in rural Montana and you're walking
mhm,
into, like I remember, for example, at Sunburst, one of the people changed we had a restaurant in town at one point, which was awesome, everybody loved it, and they changed it
sure.
into, like, an antiques store. Dude, that's where you're getting rocked. You go in and you're looking for, you're like, "Oh, is that a World War II cannon?" Gah! And you're like, "Oh, no." Hey, we don't get a lot of traffic. I had to use my beating for the year. Like, you just get smoked. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
I guess,
I think
or you
this
could
is an
just not use it.
interesting idea. I do think there needs to be some type of referendum on how, like you said, like, service workers are treated because you see it all the time. It's crazy.
It and it is really unfortunate. Like people, they're just doing their job and they get totally berated. It's horrible. It's horrible.
And listen, I'm of the opinion, and this is my hot take in response to this like same type of vein. I just think tipping is so dumb, man. I think just charge the price for what it is, except if it's a service I cannot do myself. If it is something like that I am actually incapable of doing, I think you should be rewarded for helping me out or serving me in like a high tier way. Like a waiter. Like, there is no other way that food was coming to me unless I was going to go all the way to the kitchen and
Right.
grab it
Yes.
myself and bring it over here. I should be tipping you. But if I'm
Correct.
going up to the front of a service place where I'm gonna come and pick up my food that was prepared, you ain't seen a tip from me.
Brother.
I did all the legwork.
I one time, so I was in Salt Lake area, and it was with my, I think it was for my little sister's wedding. We were going to get the car washed, and it was a Mister Car Wash, totally 100% autonomous car wash, except for the one person at the beginning that has the bug spray that they spray on your windshield and stuff. And paid for it. It says, "Would you like to leave a tip today?" I'm like, "A tip on an automatic car wash?
What
This
are we
is
doing?
insanity. This is
Yeah.
out of hand." Waiters, you get a pass. Food service, like to some extent, again, like if I'm going to pick up my food, sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. Just depends on, I guess, the vibe of the place. Because I worked in a place like that in college, and I paid for my wife's engagement ring with tips. I people were very generous to me, so I want to pay it forward. Um,
Yeah, man.
but like an automatic car wash, no way. You're high. You're high if
I
you think
remember
that.
seeing the wage of a girl that I used to date in college who was a server, and she showed it to me, and it was like base salary. It was like $1.70. I was like, "This cannot be legal."
No way.
This is insane. And then it was like, "Well, that's your base plus tips is factored into the total salary." And I was like, "What are we doing? This is
Which is
crazy."
crazy because you have to rely on other people to pay your salary, and if you just have a bad month, you might not make rent. Especially when most people
Yeah.
live paycheck. Well, many people, or is it most people live paycheck to paycheck? Is it
I
over
it
50%?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the economy's doing
It's a lot of
wonderful right
people. A
now,
lot of
but who
people I
knows?
know in my personal life. Yeah, a lot of people I know in my personal life live paycheck to paycheck. So if you're having to rely on people for tips to make rent, that's
A lot
not
of
good.
pressure, man. It's
A
crazy.
lot of pressure. Anyway, that was my last hot take.
Well,
Um,
good, man. Those were fun. I'm glad
but
we got into those.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. How hot were these takes, or how cold were these takes? Perhaps none of them were hot, and you agree with all of them.
Or
Perhaps you
leave a hot
disagree with all
take
of them.
for us. I'd love to hear some additional hot takes that would be interesting to chat about, on the pod. So leave a hot take in the comment if you've got one that you think's really interesting.
Your hottest take in the comment gets a mention in next week's episode.
I love it.
Uh, there's this story I wanted to share with you. I'm so excited to share this with you.
Oh
This
man.
is a story that I found on Reddit, and it started here 2 months ago. I'll just start reading it to you. I don't want to
You
give
better
anything
get
away.
to it.
All right, so this is from the "Am I Overreacting" subreddit.
Okay.
People will post like, am I overreacting? The title of it is "Am I Overreacting?" So AIO, my girlfriend left me over a cheese wheel. That's the
Oh
title.
no.
This is our opener. So it
Oh
says
gosh.
I 27 male and my girlfriend 26 female were saving for a house down payment. I work, she's unemployed. I've saved $32,000 and she has saved $4,000. So I feel like I bear the brunt of the financial decision making here.
So she's unemployed, has 4K to her name, and that's it.
So she's saved 4K. So it sounds like they're boyfriend, girlfriend, so they're not married. I don't know if they keep that in a joint account. He just says that towards their house, he saved $32,000. She saved $4,000.
Okay.
Okay. He says, I was doing the Oxford County Cheese Trail. and found a vault release. That's in quotes, a vault release. They were selling a 140-pound wheel of 21-year-old cheddar cheese. It was aged using a traditional cloth-bound method that's practically extinct here in Canada. and with over 21 years, it is extremely concentrated. 21-year-old cheddar often sells for about $120 a pound.
And he bought
The farm
140 pounds of it.
Yeah, so 140-pound cheese one, he says it sells for about $120 a pound. The farm was selling the entire wheel for $18,500. If I cut it into 200-gram wedges and sell it at $60 each, I can make $38,000.
Okay.
I bought the wheel and I brought it home in my truck. When I rolled it into our apartment, at first she was excited, and when I started to explain the financials and investment potential, she turned sour. She didn't yell, but expressed she wasn't happy about how I spent my, and this is caps, my share of the house savings.
Listen. Early on, if I'm the girlfriend, you're not pitching this to me.
There's nothing.
Is impossible to pitch on the way home. Hey, how was your day? I've got an idea. I'm sitting there, I'm listening. So I bought $18,000 worth of cheese. I'm like, I'm just gonna stop you there. I'm just gonna stop you there. Dude, you dropped a nuke on our bank account for a cheese wheel. Oh my gosh, I just don't see you as a specific person. What are you doing?
That's what I'm saying. This is lunacy, but it keeps going. It keeps going.
I'm currently team girlfriend in this situation.
I would be too. I'm trying to think, like, if I were to foist that upon my wife, she would just leave me. She wouldn't say another word to me. She would just leave. Like, oh, you spent how much on cheese? Okay, well, I'll send you some documents and we'll discuss custody of the kids. Goodbye. that would be the end of the conversation. Rightfully so. I just spent $18,000 on cheese, which this is 18,500 Canadian, which is like. What is it like?
What was
13,
the sales
13?
pitch to these people? I just don't get it. In Canada, there was a cheese convention. It sounds like they were bidding on different cheeses.
It's called the what did he call it up here? The Oxford County Cheese Trail.
That makes it sound like the cheese is smarter than you are because it's Oxford, and I don't like that. And they're outwitting this poor guy. They don't need to commit to $18,000 worth of cheese because they call it Oxford. They wronged this guy.
Really, it's like he was taken advantage of with excellent marketing is what they did.
Yeah, geez, seriously.
Anyway,
one.
So 21-year-old cheddar, and then so get back here. It says, when I rolled into the apartment first, she was excited. When I started to explain the financials and investment potential, she turned sour. She didn't yell, but expressed she wasn't happy with how I spent my share of our house savings. All right, so back to where we were. And then the next paragraph, the next sentence is, she is now staying with her parents, period.
Of course. What did we expect? What did we expect? You don't have financial stability. You don't put that in your body. You have saved up so well, too. Like 32 grand, great job. You are crushing it, man. You've got a good bank account. And you're like, do you know what I want to spend 60% of my net worth on? A wheel of effing cheese, bro. That is
it's
crazy.
It's 21-year aged cheddar with a rare cheesecloth technique that doesn't exist in Canada anymore. Did you hear that part? I feel like you're not giving this guy enough credit.
You could tell me this was from the fountain of youth. Yes, well, I don't care. I don't care what the cheese is. We're struggling. We're trying to buy a home. And you're out here being like, listen, this is the most roundabout way to sell the Jack and the Beanstalk story to me, if I'm the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you got magic beans? What are you doing? What are you doing? I can't believe this. Like, oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Continue. Tell me what this dumb A does.
Okay, she says, I think she's overreacting because she doesn't understand the
not,
Canadian
by the
housing market. She's not overreacting because she doesn't understand the Canadian housing market. Our savings is not enough for a down payment without a ridiculous mortgage, and we need to take these opportunities. Am I overreacting, or am I the only one with ambition in our relationship? Which sounds like a slap in the face.
Hold on, he's convincing me. Ambition's a spicy word, but again, this guy is just pitching you like cheese drop shipping, dude. He's just like I promise you, I could mark up this product to get us the bag. Like I've bought a bunch of like whatever, like toothbrushes. I bought them for bulk, $1.99 a toothbrush. I'm selling them for $5.99 a toothbrush. But brother, you're selling aged cheddar. What? You've got to
Like,
look yourself in the mirror and be like, "Oh my gosh, I invested everything in cheddar. What am I, what am I doing? What am I doing?"
you
Oh my
just
god!
wake up one day like, if I had put this in the stock market, it would have appreciated by like 10% this year. I put it all into cheddar, and I presumably this
Dude.
guy knows nothing about selling cheese, nothing about keeping cheese. Presumably
I
he
didn't
knows
even
nothing.
think about that. Unless you tell me right now this is a cheese farmer, we are in unfettered waters, dude. This guy knows nothing. This is the
Yeah.
equivalent of at roulette being like 17 black. Like it's putting it in and like praying it hits.
Honestly, you are probably better off just going and putting
Oh,
on a roulette because you got a
absolutely.
50-50 chance. I feel like your chances of making out on top of this one are nil.
Yeah, this guy has a
Now,
cheese knife. This guy has a cheese knife, a scale at home, and a dream, and apparently thinks that he can make all the money he needs.
yeah, oh yeah, food safety be darned, I guess.
Oh
He
my
probably doesn't know
gosh.
anything about food safety cheese. So he posted that, and a bunch of people. The top comments like start slicing and selling, then come update us. You're like, you're an idiot. Why would you do this? Blah blah blah. He posted an update. Let me read you the update because the update
Oh, I
gets
couldn't be more
more wild.
interested.
So the update gets more wild. So update: my girlfriend left me over the 21-year-old cheese wheel.
Of course!
Of
Of
course,
course! What are we doing?
so,
Oh, what's the pitch
so
to get her back? Give me what's the pitch?
I have no idea what the pitch would be to get her back. I don't think, again, if I were to do this to my wife, I don't think there's any level of apology. That I think the only thing I could do is prove her wrong and sell the cheese and be like, hey, listen, I made $38,000. Can you come back into my life? I'll never do anything like this again. I'm so sorry. I feel like that's your only recourse here. That has
Here,
to be your
listen,
only
and I'm
recourse.
gonna play devil's ad. I'm gonna play like that. You're doubling down on the cheese idea. I'd get a shirt that had my business name on it with the cheese.
Oh,
Like, what's the guy's name? Does it say? Does
no,
it
no,
say?
no. This is anonymous on Reddit.
I hope his name's Chuck for the and
Like
it's Chuck E.
Chuck's
Cheese.
cheddar.
It's Chuck E. Cheese. I wish this was the origin story of Chuck E. Cheese. And he's Chuck E.
This
Cheese.
is the origin story of Charles E. Cheese.
Yeah, Charles E. Cheese Emporium. And
Oh,
he's got this shirt and he comes up to her house and he's like, "Look, like we've got merch." And like we it's the only shirt in existence. Like there's merch. Like I really like committed to this. I've got a lot of sales. You don't show her anything. And you're like, I got a lot of sales. Like I just feel like I need you back as my rock. I
sure.
made this decision with you in mind, which no, you didn't. But like, because I wanted to scale up our finances that we share. And the thing is, too, like in the back of his mind, the story sounded out like he was jaded. Like he had what, like 90% of the money saved at that
Oh,
point.
and he's like this, and he said in my account, "This is my portion of the house savings. I should be able to do the financial stuff for this." Which is crazy.
Keep reading. I need
All
to
right.
know where this goes.
I'm gonna reread the title here. So it says, "Update: my girlfriend left me over the 21-year-old cheese wheel. Now my landlord is trying to evict me for commercial activity."
No!
So, listen to
Oh!
and so, by the way, he posts photos in the comments here. I wonder, might be able to pull those
Oh,
up. So might be able to pull those up because it's
you'll
genuine.
have to put it in.
Yeah, so you scroll down and it's like a picture of the cheese wheel and a picture of the receipt that he bought the cheese wheel for. Is 18,500 Canadian dollars.
How that's up on a scroll, I have no idea.
Yeah. So, anyways, Finley edited that out. I just had a big burp. Anyways,
I thought you ate some cheese.
He says, "I have taken some of your feedback into consideration from my last post."
Now he's taking constructive criticism.
Yeah. "My girlfriend is no longer in the picture. She cracked due to low risk tolerance, so I've decided to go
Cracked?
all in." Yeah, so I've decided to go all in on the business.
This is
This
the
is the
final.
first
This is
sentence.
the final boss of deflection. This guy
This,
knows nothing else.
I initially tried to return the wheel to the distributor to recoup some capital, thinking they'd have some pity. They
Wow.
were actually considering it until they came out to look at it in my truck, and apparently the minor heat damage I caused to the paraffin wax while trying to open it last week compromised the wheel, which is already
Oh,
non-refundable in the first place. So it was non-refundable, and they were
so
thinking
no
about taking it back.
refunds.
Yeah,
Ah,
but there was a little bit of heat damage to the paraffin wax seal there. Since I'm now stuck with a 140-pound 30, and he says 140-pound $30,000 plus asset. He refers to it as an asset. I pivot.
it could be a bigger liability. What are we talking about?
It's
It
literally
could be. It cost you everything. It's cost you your life. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh.
so, so he says $30,000 asset. I had to
Oh,
pivot to asset protection to keep what I still have. I went out and bought a true.
he's
This is
speaking
some
like a
model number.
hedge fund manager. I don't
I,
understand.
he said I went out and bought a true TBB-2-8C HC 59-inch solid door back bar cooler, a professional digital temperature humidity controller, an industrial humidifier, a vacuum sealer, and ripening mats. Total cost was about $8,500 after taxes.
He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know who he is. He's lost himself. He doesn't know who he is.
Expensive, yes, but I wasn't going to let a $30,000 plus investment depreciate in value.
It's not an investment. You're so cooked. This guy is so cooked. I've actually never heard. I don't know if I've ever heard this many bad decisions committed in a story in a row by one party. Like
This
his
is
girlfriend left
crazy.
immediately, and the guy was like, "I'm gonna double and triple and quadruple down." And
Quadruple.
dude, when you said it first, the freezer that he was buying, I was like, oh, he's buying it to hide the bodies of the people that he's gonna kill because he's like feels jaded and wronged by the
Yeah.
cheese communion or whoever union.
like,
That was what I was trying to say.
Who sold this to me?
Yeah,
Count your
man.
days. Count your moments.
Oh my gosh.
It goes on. The delivery was difficult as my apartment door is narrow, so I had to take the door entirely off the hinges and shimmy the cooler into the living room. I had maybe a millimeter of clearance between the frame and the unit.
Okay.
I was exhausted and excited, so I started researching installation on my phone before putting my front door back on. That's when my landlord walked in. Apparently, he believes my door being off the hinges somehow removes my reasonable right to privacy. Here we go.
Fair, I guess.
We-
if you could see
we-
and hear everything.
Yeah, go listen to this little bit he just drops in here. We already have a strained relationship because of the use of my Finley, we're going to edit that out. We're going to go back. We already have a strained relationship because of my own use of the unit. He still holds a grudge because I was doing some light metal fabrication with a consumer plasma cutter in my kitchen a few months ago.
He doesn't know who he is. This guy's lost. What was he cutting? A
Just
plasma cutter?
Some light metal fabrication. Easy.
Oh my gosh.
Just like a hobby. It's just a
Did he
hobby.
build the truck to go get the cheese? What are we doing?
Well, honestly, if you could build a truck, you might as well just sell those. It'd be better, recoup more than buying this effing cheese wheel.
No, he needs a $30,000 asset. My gosh, this guy.
Hey, bro, it's not an asset. It's an asset.
It can't be an asset.
And then he goes on. He saw the cooler, the vacuum sealer, the wheel of heritage cheese, and started crying about commercial operations and fire hazards. I told him very clearly, the cheese is for personal consumption. There is nothing in my lease that limits how much dairy a tenant can own.
By the way, I hate this guy. That's
Oh,
very fair.
he does. You know what? He does have a point here. I will admit. The next morning, I found an eviction notice in my mailbox. It's riddled with spelling errors as if written in a haste. I'm already preparing my defense for the landlord-tenant board. Am I overreacting? I'm being evicted over dietary preferences. I'm being evicted over dietary preferences as far as the landlord is concerned and feel like this is an unlawful action. That's the end of the story for now.
Oh,
This update was posted 2 months ago.
oh,
What an
we might
absolute
get
roller
more.
coaster. Yeah,
Uh,
perhaps. Maybe he does. Maybe he posts again eventually. Um, what an absolute roller coaster. This guy bought a cheese wheel for $18,000, which if doing the math, I think it's like 13,700 ish or 13,200 ish dollars in the United States. To give our US viewers some I guess what would the word be? A reference here. Uh and his whole life just falls apart.
dude, here's my thing with this guy. I don't know if I've ever hated somebody more that I've never met. Uh, like just because he continued to never see the light at the end of the tunnel from like, listen, if you would have just like respected your girlfriend a little bit more and the dream you guys built, you wanted a house and you decided to buy mouse food and bring it to your home and try to be a distributor. And then it
For
turns
something
out,
you don't understand. Presumably you have no idea about the cheese making process. You probably Googled it and it's like, yeah, I could sell this. Yeah.
dude, my prayer for this guy is that it takes off. I really hope it does. What I wouldn't give to be a fly on the wall of the landlord tenant board as as the deliberation happens between this guy, because if he's really gonna make a like dairy dietary consumption argument, I feel like if I'm one of the board members, I'd be like, how much cheese can you eat in 5 minutes? I want to see. I,
Prove it.
yeah, I'd be like, I'd be shaking my beard and be like, there's no evidence that he's eating this cheese. Like his total volume's not going down. I don't understand. So I feel like I would like give him an ultimatum, like if like, okay, that's fine. How much cheese do you consume a day? And I would just like get some numbers and I would just crank some math in front of him and be like, all right, based on my math here, just a little tiny thing. If you could eat 4 pounds of cheese in the next 35 minutes, we'll give you the apartment back. Like just like put him on the spot and just see what he does and just call his bluff. I feel like that's the ultimate end all be all of the apartment committee. That you've
I,
got him by the balls if you do that.
I feel like going through the math, like, okay, if this guy eats a pound of cheese every day, it'll still take him 140 days to finish this cheese wheel. There's just no possible way.
Well, and
And it's
how
a
long has
pound
he
of cheese a
had
day.
it? Yeah,
Uh,
like,
well, so I think so. This is posted, and then the one before was posted. I think the update was posted a week or two after the original one.
I
That
I
I've never
genuinely
seen
just
someone.
can't believe this.
I don't think I've ever seen someone throw their life away over something so foolish in my life.
Like, this is very similar to me of the people that got into, like, essential oils and then never let it go. And they're like, "I promise you it works. I
It's
promise
gonna
you."
blow up.
And this
Yeah.
guy, the funniest part of that story to me was when it was like, "Update. I've purchased $8,500 worth of materials for this cheese business." So he's down what? 26 and a half of the 32 grand. Yet he's at the same, oh my gosh, he almost has as much money as the other girl had saved, and probably more. She probably had it now. I need to go back. She's probably got savings. Whoa! Oh, this is, you can't come back now. And she's gonna be like, okay, like, fine, like, all right. You had a plan, it didn't work out, you tried it. How much do you still have saved? And he's gonna say something like $3,900, and she's gonna say, you cannot be serious. I haven't worked
that,
today, and mine went up. You have been working this whole time. You lost everything. Oh,
I like to imagine like he makes some super compelling argument to get her back. She's like, okay, she walks in the door, sees the commercial fridge and vacuum sealer, and she's like, I can't do this, and just leaves.
I'm
Just
not walking
leaves.
into our home that we used to share, and I've been away. I went and lived with my parents, and I come back, and the update to the home is a commercial fridge. I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing that in the house. That's the
And some
last thing I want
scorch
to see.
marks. Some scorch marks for
Oh,
his hobby of
yeah,
metal
from the
fabrication, of
DL
course. Yeah.
plasma cutter. What are we doing?
That
Oh, it's so
I saw
bad.
that, like, I was reading another post on Reddit, and someone said like, I don't think I've ever seen somebody else had made a poor decision. Like, oh man, I've never seen someone throw away their life this bad. And this was like, oh dude, did you hear about the guy who bought the cheese wheel? And it put
Oh,
me on this. Like, oh, so funny,
that's
so funny.
so funny,
Like
man.
reading through this and talking about it now makes it sound like maybe it's not real. Maybe just put this up. Someone put this up for entertainment value, and I really hope that somebody's not this stupid. I really do. But the fact that there's a chance that it could be real really just has me tickled. That's hilarious.
Well, I'm praying we get an update, man. That is
Yeah.
what I want more than anything is that you come back in a month and you're like, "You're not gonna believe this. He's gotten off the ground." Just like
Cheese guy is back. His back.
oh,
Here's his
yeah.
mugshot.
He was the heir to Chuck E. Cheese. You're not gonna believe this.
It was Charles himself.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that's so funny, man.
Yeah,
Let's
maybe we
charge in
call it
there,
there.
man. I think that it's a great pod episode, a good conversation with you. Good to see you as always. Remember, y'all, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our content that's coming out. New episodes are gonna be coming out every single week. Come join us. Austin, any final words?
Godspeed.
All right, y'all.